Well, hello there once again. So, I wanted to come to you today to share with you a story that you've heard many times. It's a story that Pastor Tim talked about this past Sunday, and it's the story about a giant. And most of you know the giant's name and also the man that, or the boy that took him down with God's help, and that would be David and Goliath. Goliath was a huge giant. Some say he was 9 feet tall, which is high as the ceiling in your house, probably. So that's pretty tall. And David was a boy at the time. He was probably a teenager, and so you can imagine how large the giant was to David. But we're gonna read this story right now, and on Wednesday night on Zoom, we're gonna talk about the details of this story. There are a lot of things that we don't think about with David fighting this giant. He didn't do it on his own. Just like we can't do anything on our own, we always need God's help, and we need to rely on him. So let's get started. David and the biggest man. This is the story of David and Goliath. And in your Bible, you can find this in 1 Samuel chapter 17, verses 1 through 11, and verses 34 through 58. David took care of his daddy's sheep. Sometimes lions came to hurt the sheep. Then David would take his sling and throw stones at the lions. One day, a lion took away a sheep. David ran after the lion. God helped David, and he brought the sheep home. One day, a bear took away a sheep. David ran after the bear. God helped David, and he brought the sheep home. One day, the Philistines came to fight the king's men. The biggest Philistine was a man named Goliath. Goliath wanted to hurt the king's men. Send somebody over here to fight me. The king was afraid. The king's men were afraid. Nobody said, "I'll go." And then David thought about the lion. God helped me save the sheep. David thought about the bear. God helped me save the sheep. David thought about Goliath. Would God help David save the king's men? Yes, he would. So David was not afraid. He said to the king, "I will fight this man. God will help me." Goliath saw David coming. This is just a boy. He can't fight me. But David said, "You think you are strong. God is stronger, and he will help me." And God did. Round and round went David's sling. Zip, zip went David's stone. Down, down went Goliath. All the Philistines ran away, and David went to see the king. On Wednesday night, we are going to talk about this story and talk about some of these questions. Like, what did you learn from this story? Did you learn that we can do things by ourselves without God's help? None of those men in that army thought that, but a boy knew that he could do it with God's help. I want you to look up at your ceiling now. Look way up at your ceiling and think about that is how high Goliath's head was. And David still believed that God would help him take care of Goliath and save all of the men. It doesn't matter how small you are, you can do big things for God with his help. So just remember that. And I hope to see you on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock on Zoom. Tell your parents to check the email for the link and read the email to find out some big news that might be coming. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.